Morning, Clara.
Good morning, Claudia.
What do you have here?
This is called creamed egg on toast.
Uh-huh.
And my mom used to make it for us when we were growing up. When I was a little girl, I always thought this was dinner. I didn't know we were poor. So she'd make this for dinner, and come to find out it's actually a breakfast meal. So this is what we're having. It's boiled eggs. I make the sauces she taught me how to make out of butter and flour and milk, and then you boil the eggs, and then you slice the eggs, and then you make slice this real cream, this real nice sauce over toast. And I like butter on my toast, and that's what we're having this morning. Creamed egg on toast. Thanks, Miss Mommy.
Hello, everyone. This is Claudia in Claudia's Universe, and today I'm in International Park. In International Park here with me is artist Clara Johnson. Clara is going to be speaking to us about her decorative bowls, sharing with us her inspiration for creating the bowls and taking us through a little mini adventure of her bowls, answering questions as she goes along and sharing other parts of her creativity and artistry as well. So get ready to enjoy and stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is artist Clara K. Johnson.
Hello. Hey, Claudia.
Hi, Clara.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
So, what do you want to know about my bowls?
I want to know, Clara, how you were inspired to come up with such beautiful bowls.
Well, I spent some time in Houston, Texas in 2013, and a very generous artist named Trina Rowan took me to her home and showed me how she makes paper. And she makes her own paper, and then from that paper she makes bowls. Well, the paper process was a little boring for me when I decided to do my own. So ultimately I just started making papers from bowls from papers and fabrics. So initially they didn't have the crown around them, but because I was making wire sculptures before that, I figured that there must be a way for me to incorporate the wire sculpture and the glass beads within the bowl itself. So in between the layering process is a wire for an anchor that supports the bowl and supports the frame. And so, like I said, initially I was doing a wire sculpture. So this is my piece.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Eiffel. And so it's 3D, and I was doing more stuff like this, and just realized one day that if I could do it here, I can add it to the bowl. And then so from these cute little things, these cute little bowls, you can hold keys and trinkets and cash, change, precious things. People want them to be functional, but I want them to be viewed as art. So I decided making these abstract baskets. And so I don't think anyone would ever dream of wanting this to hold anything. They want to, put it on a shelf, prop it up on a wall, on a coffee table, and just admire it for art. So with these bowls, I use a mold, as with all of them, to create the base. And then this is created in a flat form to dry, just layers of paper and fabric. And then after it dries, I cut them randomly and I hammer all the eyelets and thread them one by one, dropping a bead, thread them. And they're really beautiful, and I like them. And right now you can find the bowls in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, and you can find them in Oakland, California, and you can find them with me, of course, in Raleigh, North Carolina. So that's the evolution of the bowl.
Thank you. Clara K. Johnson, tell us about a price range, because I know somebody out there is going to want to know, wow, what would it cost for me to put that in my living room?
Well, these little guys start at $45.
Okay.
And they go up to 60.
Mhm.
And then the medium sized bowl
And that would be
60, and that goes up to 75.
okay.
And then these abstract baskets, they start at $200.
Yes. Okay. And this one in the center is the biggest. It would be what? About
That one costs you about $550.
okay. All right. Then we've got that range. And they are so worth it. They are gorgeous, Clara. They are gorgeous.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So, Clara, how did you segue from the bowls to the wire in some of your other art?
Well, initially, when I first started painting, it was just oils and abstract pieces that weren't really that great. And then ultimately, I realized they weren't that great. But I knew I had something there. I knew I had something within me that wanted to, paint. But I couldn't translate what was in my mind to the canvas. And I took a one-on-one class with a local artist in Raleigh for about a month or so. And one of the key things she explained to me is that you paint in layers. I didn't know you paint in layers. So I was trying to get all down in one pass. I didn't know. I'm so trained. I didn't know. And then also that you start light and work your way to dark. So that's the layering process. That's why a lot of my artwork, my paintings reveal so much depth, is because this is just a constant layering to pull the colors out and push them back. So that's how that started. But this woman, this artist that I work with, she wasn't a big fan of mixed media. She wasn't a big fan of adding things, but I knew I wanted to, and ultimately I started adding paper. After I developed my sense of style, I started adding paper and doing more abstract work. And then I started adding metal and beads. And while I was in Houston, that's actually when the wire sculpture was born, because there was a galleryist there calling for art on race. And so he said to call him if you want to be in his exhibit. And his first response was, "Well, Clara, how are you going to do that? And you're an abstract painter." I'm like, "Let me figure it out. I can be in the show, right?" He's like, "Yeah." So anyway, I had this frame, an open frame, and some wood and some beads and some metal, and I decided I was going to do a wire sculpture. I don't know where the thought, I know where the thought came from, but I don't know where the thought came from. But essentially, it was just like the Eiffel that I showed you. It's an open frame with a plexiglass, and there's a border or a foundation that I adhered to the plexiglass and included the frame. So it's all one structure, and then it's like two trees that comes out of the foundation down there, and in between the two trees is the form of the continent of Africa. And that was my offering for race, since Africa's the cradle of civilization, right?
Yes.
Race doesn't always have to be this stress and strife situation.
Yes.
So that was my offering for race, and he loved it. And so yeah, that's how that got started. And then I was introduced to making a ball. I call this my fast nickel.
I love it.
And so there's other things that I love doing too that I don't do as much, but I'm capable of so many different things. So, but this is the gist: the bowls, the paintings, and the wire sculptures right now.
Well, stay with us while we get ready to look at some of your other pieces that you're going to share with us today. In this segment of the program, Clara K. Johnson is going to explain how she conceived this piece, as far as where her inspiration came and where in her artistic progress this piece showed up. From paper to wire to what? How did we get here? How did she make this? Because this centerpiece is phenomenal. Clara, what have we here? How did you get here?
This is one of 3 goddesses that I started last year. There's 2 more that's already completed. I'm hoping to do 2 or or three more in a different way, which you'll see it when it's done. But basically, throughout my artistic journey, I've come to value being a woman, even though I, am not considered a matriarch or a mom or a natural mother. I do have a lot of maternal instincts, but one thing I've come to appreciate about women is that we truly are the creators of the world.
Yes, I agree.
From beginning to end. I don't really want to go all into my
your belief on
belief.
goddesses and women.
Yes, but we are some dynamic creatures. Like we really, truly, if I think if more of us as women understood the power that we have,
yes,
to procreate, to carry a child, to birth a child, I think it's just a fascinating and godlike thing that's walking the earth. Even though I've chosen not to do it myself.
Yes.
I support all those who do.
But I was about to say, the maternal instinct can show up in other roles that you have.
Yeah.
Your auntie?
I'm super auntie. I'm not auntie, I am super auntie.
Make that distinction, goddess. Make that distinction.
I have almost 40 nieces and nephews, and they range from a year younger than me all the way down to like a month old. So, and a lot of them, I spend a lot of time with some of them, and I just love being an aunt. I don't want to be a mother, but I can appreciate mothers and my mom and my sisters and my nieces who give birth. It's just so this is like my homage to myself, to women, because we are not the second gender.
No,
that is such a lie, like
a myth, a fallacy.
It's a comfortable lie.
I love that.
It's a enabler lie.
Yes.
For both genders. Like women, we want to be. Some women are comfortable being,
the
second gender. And men want to be the first gender, but I don't think that should be. There's nothing to support that other than that's the way we've been taught that it should be.
Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And tell us how you constructed this diva and what all of these parts signify.
So initially, this is a mannequin.
Yes.
And I had to cut into it to create this border here. So this is a supporting ledge. This is representational of a landscape, like the horizon line, if you will. And this is wood. And it actually, when I cut into it, the wood rests within it. And then there's a supporting dowel underneath here. And then from there, it gets heavy duty aluminum foil, and then there's layers of paper and fabric. Also, before I installed the ledge, I drill holes to pull the aluminum and the galvanized steel through.
Okay.
And then from there, I just start threading and twisting beads and glass beads and the copper wire and. Well, initially too. I mean, it's just all a process. It's a very intuitive process.
But it's a
very intuitive process. There's no planning. There's just a rough idea, a very rough idea. Yeah. So this is paint. The colors that you see is paint, and then the more structured pieces, that's paper. So this to me is like mountainous hues and background. And layers to the tree.
Yes.
So the tree is like a landscape, and when a woman is laying down, it really is a landscape.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's a very beautiful form, and so many things grow from trees and grow from women.
Yes.
I don't know. This just seemed to be a natural marriage between the landscape, trees, and the feminine body.
That's beautiful. And when I see this, Clara, it makes me think of her necklace, her something around her that even more so shows the goddess in her. And when I see this part here, it's like her raiment across her bottom portion. Possibly a part of the foam in the sea that came up to cover her. It's beautiful. And then when she's standing upright, this, when I first saw her, this made me think of a sword, a sword somehow. So she was truly a goddess, like a warrior goddess.
Yeah, it does. It is striking from the other.
It really is.
Yeah, it's just all intuitive. It's not. I'm not really having a message or getting anything across. It's just what I feel. Like I am so appreciative and blessed to be able to realize that I have a gift.
Yes.
And use it. So.
Well, Claire, about the colors, I know there's a significance for the colors. What is this supposed to be? The ocean or the horizon? Or is this the earth?
So initially, I did want her oriented this way.
Okay.
This would be your sky.
Okay.
This would be your sunset, like a fiery sky.
Oh, the burnished light.
This is the water.
Oh, yes, yes.
So you got, and then you have sky. So if you look up top, there's whites. There's your clouds.
Yes.
And then behind the copper is also paintings of trees behind there.
Love it.
Just to give it, more depth.
Yes.
But I decided that it was much better for her to be oriented as portrait and not landscape.
Oh.
Yeah, for various reasons.
Okay.
For various reasons.
But she can be displayed. Like we have her here any way the owner wants to.
Yes, upside down if I so feel.
Well, Clara, I'm going to ask this question because the audience is not here to ask. But say someone walked up and said, "Oh, I want that. What would I have to give up to have that?" What would your answer be? What's the range for this piece?
Oh, this piece is priced around $3,000.
It is, oh my God, worth it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so. Clara. Oh my God, so you can have this piece. And Clara K. Johnson's contact is, where can we find her on the web, you might ask? Where could we find you, Clara?
You can find me at www.clarakjohnson.com. or clarifications.com, but it's Clara, not C-L-A-R-I, C-L-A-R-A-F-I, blah, 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 blah. Vacations.com.
And Clara, are you also across the web on Instagram?
Oh yeah, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Tumblr, sometimes I show up on Twitter.
Is it all clarifications or the name?
Yeah, all of them
under one.
All of them are under clarifications.
I love that. So I'll still put that in the description box below. But I like that you've branded yourself so we can find you. If somebody Googled you, they could find you easily instead of going, "Oh my God, she's here on Twitter with another name." Here on somebody. Yeah.
Right. No, I don't think so. If clarifications doesn't work, Artist Clara K. That's about as much.
I like that,
variation.
Artist Clara K.
That's about as much variation.
Well, Clara, before we go, I have 1,000 questions, and I'm going to edit them to one more. How did you conceptualize clarifications? How did you come to that?
I really can't take credit for that.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that name.
I really can't take credit for that, and I don't know if I want to tell the story.
Okay.
I don't know, about 15 years ago, a friend of mine, we were, close friends, and, I always knew I wanted to do something artistic.
Yes.
I was decorating my friends' nurseries and bedrooms. And he was like, "Yeah, your business name should be Clarifications." And I was like, "Oh, that's nice." This was 15 years ago. Like, this was a long time ago. I wasn't even painting as an artist. So, I revitalized clarifications, but I'm not sure if that's the name I want to keep for mine.
Okay.
Like going forward, I see clarifications as all the other things that I do besides fine art.
Okay.
Because I can do a lot of things besides fine art. So, I don't know. It's one of those tricky things.
Everything seems to be an evolution and
Yeah.
progression, and that is only one part of Clara K. Johnson's evolution in life.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Clara. I
Well,
really
thank you, Claudia. It's been fun.
thank you.
Fun.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Art is definitely a part of our lives, and if you don't have some, get some. And hit the web and look for Clara K. Johnson. Bye.